I'm a CEO and founder of Knowlarity Communications. It's a cloud telephony company targeting SMEs and enterprises in emerging markets. Currently in India, we'll be going to other international market, already looking at Brazil and Indonesia. A little bit about me I am 2000 graduate from IIT Kanpur, computer science. Then I spent time in US, in Silicon Valley, 3 years. Had an MBA from Carnegie Mellon University and came back to India starting this company. The two things. One is the telephony revolution has happened. Everybody has telephone. But the problem is the telephone that you have is very dumb. It can only make or receive calls. There's an opportunity to make telephone more intelligent, especially for businesses whose business, the whole business gets done on telephone. So if you can make business telephony intelligent using IVRs, I think there's a huge value to it. And we came to this market imagining that there will be a big demand for this kind of services. And actually we're seeing a lot of demand for this service. So we do hosted telephony for businesses. And it has been exciting. I think the typical challenges that the startups face. I think the very first challenge will be you'll have to get partners who believe in the same idea, and it's not easy. I was able to get my batchmates, so I was able to use some of my personal equity. I think the second is figuring out what product will work in the market. There's a product and market connect that happens for a startup, and before that you have to do a lot of preparation. You believe in it, you try to go to the customer and see if they want to use it. In our case, it actually worked out pretty well. We were able to see demand immediately as soon as we went to market, and we were able to get some good customers. I think after that there's a growth problem. So growth is not easy. When you start growing, everything breaks apart. You need capital. So being able to get the investors on board, being able to hire the first set of developers and the salespeople, employees in the company who are as excited about a uncharted territory as you are. It was not easy, but I think we have been reasonably successful to get them. We have 180 people in the company currently. We are invested by Sequoia Capital, which is the most prestigious firm, venture capital firm in the world. So we've done a reasonable job there. I think there is still a lot of opportunity. I think that things have become more formalized. Earlier in the board, it was just me and my co-founder. Now we have external investors. So I think there's more accountability. There is more processes around doing things. There's a quarterly board meeting. I think the biggest thing is that we get external perspective on things that we are doing, external validation and external criticism at times. I think another good thing that has happened is that we have access to a very large pool of capital. So earlier we were capital scarce. We would do things in a limited budget. Now we can dream big, and we can say, if we need $20 million, but if there's an opportunity to go and create a value of $100 million, why not? And then you can get $20 million. I think that's a good thing that has happened. I think the big thing that you get with venture capital firm, especially somebody as prestigious and well known as Sequoia Capital, is you get external perspective. So you know what the trends are. You know how other startups have made it big. You know the things that have worked out for other startups, things that they have not worked out. That is very, very useful because it just dramatically reduces the number of mistakes that we'll make while growing the company. And when venture capital comes, you already have figured out that the product works. There's demand for product in the market. All you need to do is scale it up. So the experience that you get through venture capital is also very relevant because they are probably trying to help Airbnb to grow. They are probably trying to help Just Dial to grow, right? And there's a similar problem. They have seen it, so you can just go and not have to make the mistakes again. Just get it for free. I think budding entrepreneur. I think one is that they need to have their expectation right, which is they're probably not going to succeed the first time. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You will have to be willing to fail and learn from your experience. I think the second is don't do it alone. Find somebody who can work with you and also believes in starting something of his own. I think one should try to get a capital partner as quickly as possible, as early as possible. Go and get seed fund, because these guys, they bring you money, but they also bring you a lot of credibility, and also give you capital, so you don't have to be thinking so hard about spending money all the time. You know, get 1 crore rupees, 50 lakh rupees. It goes long way when you're only 3 or 4 people. So I think that is very useful. Don't be too much worried about equity. I think people are very stingy about equity and sharing it. I think you should be looking at like bringing people and giving them equity as an investment, making them partner to a bigger dream that all of you will have, and all of you can pool resources to achieve. I think there are a couple of people that I admire. So I admire, of course, your Steve Jobs. This is universally admired for being able to simplify things, whether it be product, whether it be marketing, whether it be his life. He famously mentioned that he does only 2 things: family and Apple. Right? It's just raw simplification. He did not participate in big parties. He was PR shy. Just focus on the product and the family, and then I think that's just helps tremendously in focus. The other the company that I admire is Amazon. So they defied the conventional wisdom on how a company should be built. They started with e-commerce for books, and then they expanded into all other categories, and then they decided that they can actually sell the internal services that they build up to power the e-commerce company, and then they start selling computing, and it's actually massive revenue source. This is not a conventional wisdom. Coming from McKinsey, I worked for 2 years as a consultant. This is not a conventional wisdom. So being able to call a spade, and see the reality as it is in the market, the way it is unraveling, and having courage to follow it, I quite admire Amazon. So.